Welcome to Chamber Chat. I'm Judy Taylor, President of the Habersham County Chamber of Commerce, and thank you for joining us for our 2012 annual meeting and award ceremony with keynote speaker Governor Nathan Deal. Please enjoy it.
This is a Chamber of Commerce meeting, and therefore it's appropriate that we talk about business, because that's what Chambers of Commerce are all about. And as Terry indicated, the number one goal that I have for our state is to be known as the number one state in the nation in which to do business. And we've worked very hard to try to achieve that goal, and we're making progress, and we're going to continue to make progress. We have a lot of good indications on the horizon, many new jobs that are coming our way, and that is always good news to me. But because the Chamber is also in the business of bringing jobs and growth to a community, it is especially appropriate for me to recognize, and I'm sure you already know this, that your chamber has been given a 5-star accreditation, which is the highest level of achievement by the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, and I understand you're one of only 6 chambers in the entire state of Georgia to receive that recognition. So, to all of you, congratulations. I also understand that even though this has been a downturned economy and you've seen some downsizing in some of your businesses, you've not had a single plant to close in Habersham County. That is a tremendous achievement in this very difficult time. So I congratulate you for what you're doing, and I want to assure you that we're going to continue to work with you in trying to bring job opportunities to this part of the state as well as other parts of the state. And I think we're going to continue to see success on that front. There are many pieces to this puzzle of what does it take to make Georgia competitive. The first thing, or one of the first things that I did, was to ask business leaders all across this state to serve on what we call the Competitiveness Initiative. And those individual business leaders held town hall type meetings in all 12 regions of the state of Georgia. And they asked the questions of local residents. What do you think it takes to make your region of the state of Georgia more competitive? And they got a lot of great answers. The number one issue, though, that came out of at least 10 or 11 of the 12 regions was improvement of education and the workforce. And we all know that that continues to be one of the cornerstones of being able to get new jobs and expand existing businesses here. But also out of that competitiveness initiative came some recommendations for tax reform. There are several ingredients that businesses look for in deciding what will be a good place in which to do business. One of those is, how heavy is your tax burden? And how specific is your tax burden to my particular undertaking of my business? We're all conscious of needing to restore manufacturing to the United States and to the state of Georgia, because having been part of the old textile belt, we know what has happened to that old manufacturing industry. We've lost most of it. Ethicon is the continuation of a great example of a continuation of that segment of the industry, and I want to congratulate them because I know they are expanding. They have a new facility that they're building, or an expansion that they're building in Athens, and I think maybe expansions here in your county as well. And I understand that Ethicon manufactures about half of all the surgical sutures in the world. So congratulations for what you're doing. One of the tax reforms, though, that was recommended to us if we want to get manufacturing into our state was that we needed to remove the sales tax on energy that is used for manufacturing, because energy costs are a considerable part of almost every manufacturing process, and therefore anything we can do to make that burden easier and to make the cost of the product that much less, then we should do it. As a part of the tax reform package that passed this past legislative session, we are going to be rolling back and removing at the state level the sales tax on energy. It will be done over a 4-year period. Now, One of the things in the law says that since sales tax is both a state and a local issue, we can only roll back the state sales tax. One of the things that counties have an option of doing is to opt back in if they wish to continue to collect their sales tax on energy used for manufacturing. Some have elected to do that. Let me tell you what my perspective on that is. By doing that, they make themselves non-competitive. Because if a business is looking for a county in which to locate, that extra 4 cents, in many cases, is going to be a critical difference if a county collects it as opposed to a county that does not do so. And those counties that follow the lead of the state, I think, will be the ones that come out the winners. We have a number of tax credit areas, and we took a look at all of those, trying to figure out if we were using them most appropriately for what they were originally intended to do. One of the areas that we have had success in is in the film and the motion picture arena. We have tax credits that are there, but we realized that some of those credits were not totally achieving the goals that we had, so we consolidated some credits, and as a result of that, Georgia continues to rank, I think, in the top 5 states in the country in terms of the filming of television shows and movies in general. I understand you've had some here in Habersham County, Robert De Niro, maybe a few other, John Travolta and a few others I'm told were involved in the filming that took place here in this county some time back. I think it will continue to be a place that these film industries will look at. I always sort of make a joke when I tell people about how successful we are. I think the #1 series on television is The Walking Dead. At least I'm told that it is. I've never really wanted to watch that. And when I mentioned that The Walking Dead is filmed in Georgia, I jokingly add, I'm not talking about the members of the General Assembly. But it is a series that is filmed in our state, and I understand that the next version of the Hunger Games is also going to be filmed here in the state of Georgia. I think all of you know that we are living in a very changing world in terms of the necessity of education. And of course you have Piedmont University here, and you have North Georgia Technical College here that gives you those 2 components right here within the county. We're told that by 2020, 60% of our workforce in Georgia are going to need some degree beyond high school. So having those kind of educational facilities available helps us a lot. Now we understand that just because you enroll in an institution of higher learning does not necessarily mean that you're going to get a degree that will make you employable. In fact, all too many of those who enroll in our institutions never get a degree or a diploma. We therefore have joined as a partnership in Complete College America, and we are one of the few states that have received revenue about $1 million to launch our Complete College America programs. And we're doing this on pilot projects within the technical college system and within our college and university system. The idea being that we want to make sure that we graduate as many of those people who enter our institutions as possible so that they will have those degrees or those certificates that they need. Now, we're working hard, and you've heard some of the great success stories that have happened over the last year. Caterpillar, which is the one closest to us over in the Athens area, a plant that is going to be relocated from Japan to Georgia. We've all said we want manufacturing to come back that's gone offshore. We want it to come back to the United States. I'm proud to say that when a large company like Caterpillar decided to do exactly that, they chose Georgia as the place that they wanted to come. It is going to provide about 1,400 jobs. We have recently gotten back from a trade mission to Japan because Caterpillar has made it known to their suppliers that they want their suppliers to be close to their plant in Georgia. So we're trying to make sure we recruit as many of those suppliers that are still in Japan to come to our state because we're told if they do come, they will provide twice as many jobs as will Caterpillar itself. So we have great, I think, opportunities to be successful on that front. My staff tells me through economic development that since I took office, that we have seen almost $9 billion of new capital investment and almost 47,000 jobs that have been created in a downturn economy. I think that is a huge success story. But Caterpillar wasn't the biggest one. Baxter International, a major pharmaceutical company, they're going to be building a plant. In fact, they've already cleared the ground and they're getting started. A facility that's just off of I-20 in the Newton County, Walton County areas, right there almost on the line between Newton and Walton County. That is a facility where they will be making a $1 billion capital investment. And it is a production facility for two biologic products that are based on blood plasma. And even though they're locating their manufacturing facility there, they will have plasma collection sites scattered throughout the state of Georgia. So that may be something the Chamber wants to make sure when Baxter gets to that stage of locating those plasma collection sites, that maybe they would select this area for one of those sites. I understand they're going to have 5 or 6 scattered around the state of Georgia, because I think the future looks extremely bright. I think Georgia is leading the way in a number of areas, and we're getting recognition. In fact, I will close with this statement by the recruiter who brought Baxter to the state of Georgia. He said his task was to locate the best place in the United States for Baxter to build this new $1 billion plant. And he said, he told them, he said, well, I think you ought to look at Georgia. They said, Georgia? We never heard anybody suggest that we come to Georgia. We've always heard about going to California or to the Triangle up in North Carolina, or maybe up into the Boston area where they've got a lot of manufacturing of pharmaceuticals up there. He said, we never heard of Georgia as a good place to go. He said, well, let me show you. And he started laying out what Georgia had to offer. He said, after he did that, they said, well, it's not even close. We're going to come to Georgia. Now, you see, we've got a message that we need to deliver to a broader section of the business world. That's what your chamber is trying to do here in your community and across our state, and that's what I'm trying to do at the state level as well. Thank you for having me and Sandra here tonight. We appreciate your hospitality.
Well, I get the honor of presenting the Small Business of the Year Award. As a small business owner myself, I can relate certainly to the ups and downs and the things that you enjoy so much about it and the things that make it tough. But this year's recipient has been in business since 2009. And while that's not been a very long time, they certainly have made a big impact in our community. The owner got involved almost immediately with several organizations, Chamber of Commerce, obviously, Rotary, Leadership Habersham, and serves at his church as well. Whenever he is asked, and often without being asked, he volunteers his time, expertise, and excellent food. And finally, I think the measure of any person, organization, or business is how they handle adversity. And let me tell you, when your business burns down, that's a little adversity. So they continued on, found a temporary location, and served the community the best they could with what they had. They've rebuilt and come back even bigger and better than before. And it's my honor to present this year's Small Business of the Year, the Hog Wild Barbecue, Mr. Jeremy Patrick. Would you like to recognize any of your
I have all my family back there that came to support me, and this was a total surprise. I had no idea about this. Thank you all for the support that you give us here in the community. You all really supported us before the fire, during the fire, and after the fire, so we certainly appreciate it. And we look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you.
I am the chairman-elect for the 2012 year. I'm here to give the Catherine Lunsford Volunteer of the Year. The Chamber, that's what it's all about, volunteers. I mean, we all put in a lot of time and effort, but these type people that give and give and give, they're a rare breed. And this year's winner is Miss Sherry Callahan. Sherry is co-owner with her husband Mike of Blues Furniture in Clarksville. She was elected president of the Clarksville Business and Community Association in 2009 and still serves in that position. During her presidency, several activities have started, with the Taste of Clarksville and the Christmas Decoration Contest that had a major impact on Clarksville business, community, and the entire county. Sherry was a charter member and officer of the Clarksville Better Hometown Board of Directors and remains very active in these programs. She and her husband Mike are always willing to support the community and causes and are involved with the First United Methodist Church in Clarksville.
It's always dangerous to give me a microphone. I do want to thank you. This is quite a surprise, and what a tremendous honor. I really can't take the credit for all the good things that are happening in CVCA and in Clarksville. I can't take the credit for that at all, because I believe it's Clarksville's time, and I believe that the people that are members of CVCA, people that are members of Better Hometown, have worked together. Everybody's enthusiastic, and there's just a lot of really good things happening. And I appreciate all the volunteer spirit that I have encountered in the last 3 years as president of CVCA. Thank each and every one of you very, very much.
This year, the Chamber decided to present for the first time an Entrepreneur of the Year award. We have seen many, many businesses starting in Habersham. We've seen great successes, even in difficult times. And so this evening, it's my pleasure to be able to recognize one of those businesses that started up very recently and has achieved a great margin of success. And I'm going to ask Abby Jackson to come up from Abby J's Salsa, Farm to Table Salsa. Abby and her husband John are proprietors of the Black Hawk Fly Fishing and Abby J's Gourmet. They have a 5-star, 2-mile trophy fly fishing stream located north of Clarksville on the Sequoia River. Abby created Abby J's Black Hawk Farm to Table Salsa in July of 2011. Her first salsa, and my favorite, is the bean and jalapeno. But she now has 4 varieties, and you may find these in major supermarkets and specialty stores already. As a consummate marketer, Abby is constantly found promoting her salsas. Black Hawk Fly Fishing has been featured on O'Neill Outdoors and George Traveler television programs, as well as in Southern Living magazine, The Angler, and other publications. And just as a side note, Abby J is my former student.
I really want to thank the Chamber. They have been so much behind me all the way. Judy Taylor has always been there for me, for Black Hawk. I remember first meeting her, having her up for a business after hours, and she was quite new to the position, and I just, you know, felt like we just had a winner behind the Chamber, the businesses, and I'm just so honored to get this award, and I hope, if you haven't tried my salsa, Abby James for the holidays.
This year, the Industry of the Year award goes to another business that has faced adversity. And as Ty said, when a business experiences a fire, and they manage to survive, and they manage to pay their employees and keep the business going in spite of a fire, then it's certainly an indication that there's a success there. I'm going to ask representatives from Global Tech to come up. Global Tech Industries is proud to be a customer-focused contract manufacturer of highly finished candle and home fragrance products. Founded in 1995 as a private label pillar manufacturer, Global Tech expanded its manufacturing capabilities to include multiple sizes of pillars, container fills, molded figures, and inclusion botanical candles with the ability to produce large volumes while maintaining the integrity of a hand-poured style finish. And we are so proud of you.
You just don't know how proud I am to be up here to help accept this award for Global Tech. I'm even prouder that it is called Global Tech and not Wicks by Hicks, which suggested when we first did business in 1996 or 95. I had two great partners, Jim Bruce and Sam Dayton. And of course, a lot of you know Jim, being a local Cornelia guy, and Sam happens to be my brother-in-law, which helps too as well. So Sam had told Jim and I to come up with a name because he was going to incorporate the business. And so he gave us a deadline, and I guess we weren't too good with deadlines, but Jim came up with Wicks by Hicks. So Sam would not incorporate the name of Wicks by Hicks, but the real success story of Global Tech are those other people that are sitting out there in the table. And every person at that table, I truly feel would walk off a cliff with us if it was required to keep Global Tech going. You know, up the first of the year, I'm experiencing all the emotion of the fire and wondering if we'll ever get back into business, if, you know, our dream of 17 years has gone up in smoke. And then at the end of the year, we're sitting here or standing here accepting an award as Industry of the Year. Man, thank you guys so much for that honor.
This next award is the Chairman's Award. We're very fortunate, I feel very fortunate, that I sat on a panel of distinguished directors and executive officers who helped make the decisions about the other awards. But this one is an award that I selected myself. And it was very, very hard to do that because I worked with 20 very, very dedicated board members who give everything that they have to make this chamber a success. So it's difficult to single one out, but I think there is one who emerged and stands out in the group. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about this person. This person is an individual who has served on the board for multiple years. He has gone far above and beyond anything that would be expected for a person serving in his capacity. He's organized activities across this county. He's coordinated many, many events. He has invested his time in this county's greatest commodity, our children. And as the chairman of the Education Committee, he has done this very, very well. And I would like to ask Kelly Woodall to come up now.
It's a real honor, and I'm not sure I'm deserving, but I'm sure thankful. You know, I believe this truthfully. If you want to leave a legacy, you've got to live one. And I think it starts with our children. Thank you so much.
Our final award of the evening is one that's very, very special, and this is about a special person that I believe has really made a difference in Habersham County. And I want to tell you a little story. In late 1968, a businessman approached an artist who had a home here in Habersham County. And the artist was asked if he had any suggestions for painting and decorating the buildings in Helen, Georgia. When the artist came back to Helen to look, he already had an idea. It was 18 years old and was nestled in the back of his mind from his days in the Army when he was stationed in Bavaria. While over there, the artist had made many sketches of alpine villages and was fascinated with the similarity of the landscape to our North Georgia mountains. Something about those buildings transmitted an excitement to walk among them and made everyday events seem like a vacation. How great, he thought, if there could be some spot in our mountains that could reflect this image for the vacationer. The artist photographed the whole business section of Helen And within a week, he presented a series of watercolor sketches of what the face of Helen one would say. One of those people said, "Let's do it. You can do my building first." And a week later, the townsmen and local carpenters began turning ideas into reality. And that was in January of 1969. And while tonight we recognize John Collett's creativity in transforming the town of Helen, we are daily reminded of his talent as we see his portrayals of the scenes of our life here in Habersham County and North Georgia. His writings and prints are a reflection of his own life, and he has painted the world in which he grew up and now lives. But more importantly, John Collett has been instrumental in promoting the arts, art education, theatrical arts, and reminding us all that the arts demonstrate our very culture and will outlast any of us. Habersham County is indebted to John Collett for his work and his willing efforts. It's my very distinct privilege tonight to introduce you to the Habersham Countyan of the Year, artist, illustrator, and historian of Clarksville, Habersham County, Georgia, John Collett.
My great love is not this area. We've traveled many places in the world, but this is the most special and dear to me. The people, especially the people, because there's a gentle, friendly quality about everyone here. And people come here and say, "Why are you all so friendly?" Well, we're just that way. And I think that's a wonderful credit. And recreating the past is another one of my loves, painting in artwork, because I'm something of a historian, and I like collecting stories and things that have happened here. And I'm very proud of the history of this area, because it goes back to the Indians, it comes right on up through all of the early history of this country. And I want every young child to know what they have in their past, which is why I paint, because I'm trying to show them this is not just a little place, this is a special place, and it is full of love and full of beauty. And I just want to thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you.
One of the greatest rewards that I've had in my life is to be able to serve the people of this county in one capacity or another. It's the greatest highlight of my professional career to be able to work here and to serve. It's been very, very special to me. It's been a very special time to me. And to see our county grow and become a better place for all of us, and especially for our children, has indeed been a prize in my life. And so it's with all of those thoughts and those sentiments that I pass the gavel to you, Ken Schubert, as the chairman of the board.
I first want to thank everyone for coming tonight to celebrate a banner year for the Habersham Chamber. The 2013 board and I will continue to carry on the vision to make Habersham one of the premier chambers in the state of Georgia. I do want to thank Judy Forbes for her leadership during the 2012 year. She did a wonderful job. It's a yeoman's job, actually. There's a lot more work goes into this than a lot of folks would ever believe. But I also want to thank Dr. Judy Taylor, Ms. Hilda Burke, and Kirsty Matson. They worked tirelessly for your chamber, and without them, we could never get it done.
Thank you, Ken, and I want to congratulate all the award recipients tonight. You were so very deserving, and I want to thank this board, this chamber. We're just so proud of this chamber, but it's the board. We just have such an outstanding board. When they stood, you saw who they were. And I'm going to cut it short because we were going to get you out of here by 8:30, and it's not even 8:30 yet. But thank you for coming. This is a great crowd. Thank you for coming, and have a safe and happy holiday.